that hat that you're wearing, brother, is like one of my favorite hats. I think that I actually have a picture of you and I here. Hang on, it's like of you in that hat. Yep. Yeah, do epic shit. That's the same hat you're wearing right now. So this is what everybody who knows and loves Dom, like, this is what they know about you, man. It's like, that's how you live your life. You do not let an obstacle get in the way, whether it's a wheelchair or anything else. You'll find a way. So when you say that your guardian angel has probably like had enough of you, let's talk a little bit about that. At what point did you go from being in that hospital bed to saying, you know what, I'm going to live my life? Your dad tells you, son, Dom, these are the cards you're dealt.
I relatively quickly got to that acceptance level, that acceptance stage, and the words of my dad, again, so pivotal, and it was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna ditch why for now. We may revisit this down the road, but right now, why is in the past, what's forward. My recreational therapist in the rehab hospital, she was so instrumental also in my recovery, in learning that I was this athlete before, this adventurous person before, and knowing that, she started to feed that and was leaving like Sports and Spokes magazine on my bedside table and taking me to tennis tournaments and basketball practices and stuff like that. Showing me that sports existed. So for me, now this clicks, is like, I can actually still be an athlete after this. Yeah. I may not be able to play soccer. And this is where my mom's words, they come true, is you may not be able to play soccer, but there's these other things. I got out of the hospital, I go back to school, but I'm still required to do physical therapy for my recovery. Well, I go to the first day of my physical therapy. I go to the assessment, and she's like, you already can do everything that I need to check off on my list to let you go, but you're required all of this time. It was like 3 months of outpatient physical therapy.
So you're like ahead of the class, is what you're saying.
So I'm kind of ahead of the game, head of the class. She's like, well, what do we do? And in our interaction, I found out that she was a triathlete, and I said, I said, I'm really interested in trying this wheelchair racing. Can we tailor my physical therapy to be more of competitive training? You teach me what you know from competing and training and doing all of that. Can we do that for my physical therapy? And she goes, yeah. She goes, let's do it. So my physical therapy was training for my first wheelchair race, which I did 5 months after my date of injury.
That does not surprise me.
Hospital stay and everything. I mean, you hit the ground rolling, like,
But you know what? I think it's important to point out, first of all, shout out to all the medical professionals out there. We just had a great group of occupational therapist students come out from Crichton University at our facility just last week. Probably about 25 to 30 young men and women. And man, I just can't describe how excited I get to see these people who are basically getting ready to devote their lives to doing exactly what you just said. She gave you the tools you needed. Something so simple, right? Something so simple as, hey, I know he's an athlete. He was an athlete before. He can still be an athlete now. He may not think he can. So let me give him some tools to actually lead him that way. Like, to give him the path forward. We say that all the time. Like when I speak to the students, when we speak to this occupational therapy students, it's like, you're going to be able to help people with a path forward. You're going to help them turn the lights back on again, right? Where they're going to think that they've been turned off. You're going to be able to like give them a whole new start. Like you said, a new beginning, a new birth, right? But something as simple as putting a magazine. What kind of power do you possess? What kind of greatness do we possess inside? That, like, because had that nurse, that specialist not seen that in you and knew, hey, I have the ability to help Domonic here. I'm going to put this here and see where this goes. Now, you've jumped out of airplanes, scuba dived, skied down mountains, crank cycled through China. Like, you've done things I've never done. Most people I know have never done one of the things that you've done. And it all started with that one simple one simple gesture of just putting a magazine down. Man, that's just amazing to me. I'm sorry I got a little passionate in talking to that.
No.
It always excites me because I think people short sell the gifts that we have in ourselves to be able to be a gift in someone, to bring out the gift in someone else, if that makes sense.
And to not make it sound cheesy, but you know, because we're talking spark greatness here, and putting a spark in someone.
That's the point, bro.
It was the most minimal thing that she could have done that was so pivotal for me and affected me so greatly.